From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big Monday morning here on LALATE with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. In this recording, we'll be going over that monthly stimulus check that the Democrats in the House, the Democrats in the Senate, and the President want you to have. We'll be going over how much that fourth stimulus check is and the reconciliation process and the timeline and what you should anticipate for today. Then we'll be turning to fifth stimulus that has, yes, a stimulus check in it as well. Wow. And the incredible news that the President gave for fifth stimulus. Then we'll be cutting back to the big money you can get right now, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. And then finally, Biden does it. A major deal signed by the President for fourth stimulus over the weekend. I'll explain the implications for you. It is wonderful. It's a big morning. The toast is toasted. The butter is buttering. I'm live with you direct from Santa Monica, starting right here, right this moment, on Mornings LALATE. Monday morning, and I'm live with you direct from Santa Monica this wonderful day. It's supposed to be very sunny in LA, so sunny that they're telling people to stay indoors after 10 o'clock a.m. because they say it's unhealthy. It's actually going to be that sunny. But so far, the weather is beautiful here. Tell me where you're tuning in from this Monday morning, and how's the weather? Thank you for joining me. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, this Monday morning, we'll be going over that monthly fourth stimulus check. How much is going to be, how much they want you to have, when they're going to vote on the details, and the incredible details as the President signs something for fourth stimulus. Biden has done it. Wonderful news. We'll be going over all that breaking news this Monday morning. Then we'll be cutting to fifth stimulus, and there'll be another fifth stimulus check. OMG, I'll be explaining how that's going to work and the incredible lifting of your benefits. The breaking news, no less than 3 breaking news stories about fifth stimulus this morning. Wonderful details. And then we'll be going over the thousands of money you can get right now. Viewers continue to get it, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. But first, subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America, broadcasting around the globe 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. I'm next live with you with Mornings Crypto coming up in about 15 minutes after the show is over as the currencies and the coins are zooming to the moon this morning. Oh boy. Then at 11 a.m., I'm back with you at noontime LA. Big news I have ready for that show, so stay with me. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. 1 year. No one's ever done that. Next stop, 1 million. I want you part of this family. Subscribe. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Let's get into this extended morning's broadcast starting right now. I have so much breaking news for you. The show will go a little bit longer because of all this wonderful news, starting with the House bill from Jalopal that provides a monthly stimulus check for the pandemic plus 1 year, compared to the Senate proposal that provides a stimulus check between now and December. If you're on the live chat just at about 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate. Who do you like? And tell me where you're watching from and how the weather is. But not just yet. Let's go over those monthly payouts. House bill, $2,000 first month, $1,000 thereafter. Senate proposal, an amount unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Wow. Yes, that is per person. Yes, that's 6 months. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000 a person. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400 a person. Now, let's go back to something that could be modified because of the pandemic, which is pandemic plus 1 year, House Bill, Jalopal. Many legislators, insiders think that that may get reduced to just 1 year. If that's the case, then the House bill would be 1 year stimulus checks, $13,000, 12 months, compared to the Senate over 6 months. And this, I think you have an opinion. So jump into the live chat. Tell me which one you like, House or Senate, Senate or House, or both. and tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. Let's go over the next parts of that fourth stimulus check updated 2021 starting right today. Who gets the fourth stimulus check? Everyone who got a third stimulus check, the Democrats want. The Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. If you're a single individual, make less than $75,000. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get a fourth stimulus check from the Democrats. Double it. Family of four, the Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, the Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, congratulations. The fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. The fourth stimulus check is a monthly stimulus check. It's not a waivable check. So don't wave at it. It won't wave back, and you will be insulted and think that is a rude check. Hi, check. It didn't wave back at me. How rude. It's not a waivable check. It can't wave at you. The fourth stimulus check is the same amount for adult dependents, minor dependents, adult dependents as well from the Democrats. And finally, the Democrats have a vote set no later than July 4th. Final vote. That means that the Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check in the month of July, for the month of July, in the month of August, for the month of August. And there you go. We can wave goodbye to the first of three parts of our fourth stimulus check of 2021. There you go. But coming up later in this recording, I have the breaking news in the second part. But let's get a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus. And yes, there's going to be another stimulus check. OMG. It's also going to raise up your benefits. But I also got three breaking news stories for you this Monday morning, which are absolutely wonderful about fifth stimulus and the stimulus check and your benefits. Wow, that's coming up in the second half of this video. But now let's turn to the thousands of dollars that you are killing it. Boy, you are doing a great job. A week ago this morning, one viewer jumped into this show and said she got $6,000 to $7,000 because of this show. Viewers is doing it every single day and every single hour. If you got $100, if you got $10, if you got $100,000, I've had viewers get $100,000 from the show. Jump into the live chat and say what you got, because it inspires me and inspires someone else. Get a pen and paper ready, or if it's a Crayola crown, make sure it matches my purple shirt. And I'm going to go over the big money you can get right now. Thousands of dollars. It's all your money, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, because that's what we do on this channel. We cash checks. We don't track checks. And what is it? This is money coming from the federal government to you for third stimulus. $350 billion for you. Well, it's not all for you. What do you think this is? Powerball? I have that little machine offset where the balls will sort of roll down and there. No, we don't do that on this channel. It's not Powerball. It's money for you to share. So sharing is caring. It's landing from the federal government to cities and counties and states this week and last week. And it's money for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities. And go get it. The rent is about $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent. And viewers have been killing it. Get that pen and paper ready. I say to the very end of this video, I got a lot of money to get you. And it's starting right now. We're going to go over different places to get that money. Each place has different eligibility. So if one says no, don't worry, reach out to the next. Here we go. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. Keywords you're going to say is rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID. Or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You don't say words that they don't know, like stimulus. They don't know that word. Or bacon. I know that word, but they don't know that word. They don't have your bacon. And I don't have your bacon either. You don't have my bacon either. It's just sort of a reoccurring trend here. So reach out to them and get that big money. Tim got it. Linda got some of that money as well. But the next pot of the money is that viewer got that $6,000, $7,000 for it. What is it? It's SNAP. It is money for your food. It is wonderful. It comes from the federal government to the cities and counties and states. And let's go over how much you can get and where you can get it. You get it from Department of Agriculture. It is a lot of money. How much? It's about $16,000 for family of four in Hawaii. Wow. Why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, for her son, and her mom. Gail got it as well. One viewer overnight asked me, is the increase step up automatic? Yes. The federal government is increasing at 15%, not the states. So the states are required by law to have that 15% increase between now and December. There was initially a delay in getting it started in February, but all states do it automatically between now and December. If for any reason you don't see the increase, you need to reach out to your state because it is automatic. And there you go. $16,000 for SNAP for family of four in Hawaii. $5,000 for rent, and we are killing it. We are just 10 minutes into this video, but I got $5,000 of money for you right now. What is this? It's from your states. The federal government has identified states as overpaying unemployment assistance due to a state computer program error. Not your computer. Your computer works fine. It's their darn computers. So the federal government has said, no, you have problems with your computer? Tough. It's the viewers' money. Give them their money back. Yeah, so the federal government has ordered the states to pay you back that money. One viewer got $5,000 from it. How do you get it? Reach out to your respective states, but it's automatic. Automatic to the computer, to the account you have on file with that state. Routing times, reach out to your respective state for those routing times. Which brings us to the next pot of money, and boy, people are killing it. Michael got it overnight. One viewer yesterday said, I got it. Viewers continue to get it, whether it's Cod or Margaret. It is money for your tax refund of that unemployment assistance. Yes, it's coming back from the federal government. Let's go over how much it is, when you're going to get it, the routing times, and how to receive it. First, how much is it? If you, let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment assistance in 2020, and you paid $5,000 on your 2020 tax return total, of which $4,000 was your taxes on the unemployment assistance, you're getting back $4,000 from IRS. Next, how? Direct deposit if that's on your tax return, or in the mail. When? Month of June. Can you track it? Yes, 70% of the time you can. Go to irs.gov, put a username and password in there, and do a transcript search. It'll reveal the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid, and the refund check you're getting back. Oh my goodness, do we have anything better than that? We do. The second of three parts of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 with the breaking news starting right now. Biden did it. He did it. On Friday and Saturday, the President of the United States signed into law an anchor provision of the fourth stimulus, which is absolutely wonderful. Overseas, the President signed into law an international treaty which anchors fourth stimulus to the edge of the finish line by removing provisions no longer needed in the fourth stimulus package. Now they're in an international treaty, making it easier for the Democrats to pass it. Oh my goodness. Let's go over all the incredible news that led up to that. But first, let's understand where we are right now this Monday morning. We're currently in the reconciliation process. It's been underway for a little bit. Second, the reconciliation process will end no later than July 4th. Number three, the reconciliation process will end with a final approval. All right, let's go over all the steps and the breaking news that got us to today's wonderful development details. It started the Friday before Memorial Day weekend when Leader Schumer confirmed the three reports to this channel. Number one, the reconciliation process had already begun by that point. Number two, it would be done by July 4th. And number three, it will be done with a passage. Now, how did Schumer get to that point? Well, he got to that point with a wonderful letter from Jalapa, the person who had written that monthly stimulus check provision for the House, that bill. Jalapa had written Schumer a letter saying, call the vote for the recon. What are we waiting for? Call the vote. But what was better about Jalapal's letter was that it was co-signed by 12 House Democrats. Those 12 House Democrats are among the 100-plus House Democrats who had written the president a letter a week earlier saying, we're going to put monthly fourth stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Oh my goodness, now that's wonderful. Can we top that? We can. When a week ago, 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter directly and said, we're going to be putting those monthly stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Oh my goodness, who are they to say that? What do they do? What are their duties? They are on the House subcommittee that is solely and exclusively responsible for writing your stimulus checks in the U.S. Congress, House of Representatives. Oh my goodness, did they write the first stimulus check? They did. Did they write the second? They wrote the second. Did they write the third? They wrote the third. And now they say they're writing the fourth. And in fact, this last week we got confirmation the House is currently marking up the bill, meaning they're marking up drafts of the bill. Oh my goodness. And they also said we're writing the fifth stimulus checks. Fifth stimulus checks. Yes, that's coming up in the second half of this video. There will be fifth stimulus checks. Oh my goodness. Can we get better than that? We can. And it turns to the president's major deal. Biden did it. On Friday and Saturday, the president signed an anchor legislation for fourth stimulus, which anchors us right to the edge of the finish line. And I'm going to explain it right now. It started about a week ago when I told you something on a Tuesday happened that was complicated and confusing, and I need to slow it down to make it easy and breezy for you. I'm going to slow it down right now as well. Fourth stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate. The U.S. corporate tax rate is the taxes corporations pay in the United States. Easy. The president said at the time that he, as the president, was worried that by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate, U.S. corporations may try to move overseas and find a lower corporate tax rate, called a race for the bottom. So the president said, I'm going to reach out to leaders of 7 other countries, the G7 leaders, and try to get them to raise the global minimum corporate tax rate so our businesses won't leave U.S. soils and move operations to a country with a lower corporate tax rate. Those countries tentatively agreed that Tuesday. And then the president said to insiders, well, after fourth stimulus is passed, in let's say October, November, December of this year, I'll go back to those G7 countries and try to have them sign on the dotted line about that global minimum corporate tax rate. And if they do, then I'll go back and remove things I no longer need from the fourth stimulus for those corporate taxes. Wow, now that's wonderful news. But it got more wonderful. If there's one thing that I do on this channel well, is I go over minutia, stories that are not front page news, and this was not front page news one Friday ago. Not last Friday, but the Friday before that. Insiders were saying the president was about to talk to the G7 countries. No one knew why. And then suddenly the news broke. Finally, it came to a head on Thursday and Friday and Saturday last weekend. Biden did it. What did he do? He flew overseas and signed into law with those G7 countries, not in November, December later this year, but now, before fourth stimulus is passed, a fourth stimulus add-on. Signed into law the global minimum corporate tax rate of 15% now, so that he anchors fourth stimulus right to the edge of the finish line and no longer needs certain provisions in the fourth stimulus about corporate taxes because they're now covered in an international treaty provision law. Wow, now that's wonderful news. He's anchoring fourth stimulus to the finish line by putting stuff that he was going to put into fourth stimulus about corporate taxes now into an international law, making it easier to pass fourth stimulus for those Democrats. That is wonderful. Is there anything more wonderful than that? There is, and it's the third part of our fourth stimulus check update of 2021. It's coming up after this commercial break, but there's something else also wonderful, and they're called the volunteers. If you're having problems finding that rent, utilities, mortgage, assistance, or internet, reach out to the volunteers. They're salt of the earth. They embody the true Purple Power spirit. Viewers helping viewers. Reach out to them, and they're on the community page, and they'll help you get that money. Where is the community page? Open the description to this video. Go down the description. You'll see an emoji of a house. Next to that emoji of a house, it says community page. Click the link. It'll send you to news.lalate.com/community. On the page is a picture of some kitty cats. They're not the volunteers. They're just kitty cats. And they're not a waivable check either. Hi, check. Lower on the page is the volunteers. They're separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Reach out to them and they'll help you get that money. Here's a little bit about those volunteers, but I'll be back after 60 seconds with big, exciting news still about fourth stimulus in our third part of the extended morning's broadcast and the big, exciting details about that fifth stimulus check and that fifth stimulus raise of your benefits. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LALATE, live from Santa Monica, California. The sun is coming in and it's a beautiful breezy day. But how is the weather where you are? If you're in the live chat right after about 9:20 a.m., tell me where you're watching from and how's the weather? And if you're watching later in the day, drop in the chat as well. Boy, what a big morning it is. Subscribe, 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video. 3,000 likes. Every like helps. Coming up next is Mornings Crypto, right after this video at 9:30 a.m. Then we go into noontime at 11 a.m. Stay with me. There's a lot of more shows, and then we have afternoons and evenings and more shows this afternoon. Subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. And next up is more exciting details after this commercial break. No, we're done with the commercial break. Coming up right now is Fifth Stimulus. Here we go. Let's go right into Fifth Stimulus. Fifth Stimulus has wonderful breaking news. No less than 3 breaking news stories about Fifth Stimulus. First one is the Fifth Stimulus check, which you've probably been asking about. The fourth stimulus check those House Democrats are proposing would likely, I think, in their mind, go in the year 2021. And then those 7 House Democrats who wrote the president a letter talking about fifth stimulus, I think in their mindset, they're thinking fifth stimulus checks would start in January 2022. Remember, fifth stimulus starts in September. It's a 2-month process approximately, so they're done about November-ish. But it's the holidays. It's hard to send out a stimulus check in December from fifth stimulus. So I think they're thinking that fifth stimulus checks would go out in 2022, January, where fourth stimulus would be this year. That's the first breaking news. The second one is wonderful. The president has dedicated $1 billion to the Social Security Administration fund to ensure that you get your payments going forward on time, quicker, and diligently. This is absolutely wonderful. If you were with me in the spring of this year, we had no less than a gazillion videos about where is my third stimulus check for Direct Express by Comerica. My Direct Express by Comerica card says the check is late. No more of that. He wants to get rid of all that nonsense, and I'm happy to get rid of it as well. He wants stimulus checks to land on time. He wants benefits checks to land on time. He wants everything to land on time by dedicating more money to the administration for staffing, newer computers, faster processing times. Amen. This is wonderful news. Finally, Thursday. The Consumer Price Index number for the month of May 2021 was released. What is the Consumer Price Index number? It shows how much the price of goods went up. Well, we all know price of goods are going up. That's easy. But how much did the price of goods go up? Compared to the year before, May of 2020, the number went up the highest 12-month increase in nearly 30 years, which caused Wall Street analysts to again say the following. They think that the inflation rate will go up temporarily, or what they call transitory, to a very big high peak later this year and then come back down to something normal. That we're getting higher month after month, and that for temporary purposes or transitory purposes, we'll reach a very big high peak later this year. This has everything to do with your fifth stimulus, which we're going to get to right now. Fifth stimulus involves raising up your benefit levels first one time under fifth stimulus, then applying a new inflationary benchmark, removing the asset limit and removing the income exclusion and removing the marriage penalty. All right, let's analyze that now in the context of that temporary peak, which we just went over. First, they'll raise your benefits up under fifth stimulus. Who's you? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple benefits. Then they'll apply the benchmark. Every December, they apply the benchmark for next year's benefits. Now, if we were going to apply the benchmark today, we would think the inflation rate is 4%. But let's say we watch and look at that transitory, temporary peak. Here's what Wall Street analysts are thinking about, that peak is going to hit somewhere at the end of this year. You want to hope that temporary spike of the inflation rate hits around the time that they apply the first benefits benchmark in November, December. Why? Because once you get lifted up, you never get lifted down. Let's say the inflation rate jumps from 4% now to 10% for just 2 months in November, December, and then goes back down to 2% in January. This is what would happen to your benefits. They would rise up, let's say 10% under this example, 10% next year, but not just next year, lifetime. So as the inflation rate plummets back down, let's say to 2% in January and February next year, your benefits would always stay at plus 10% lifetime. This is wonderful news. Then they're going to remove the asset limit that dates back to a 1980s law that prevents you from having $3,000 in hand. Time to get those stimulus checks in your hand. They're going to remove the income cap that dates back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. It's going to go away. And then they're going to remove the marriage penalty. Horrible provision that prevents you from getting benefits if you're married and dissuades you from getting married for fear of losing benefits. Love is going to win, and viewers like Sandy and Rob will be able to get married and no longer fear the marriage penalty. And there you go. That is your fifth stimulus check update of 2021 in today's recording. But guess what? There's a lot other money out there that is in the fifth stimulus proposal, the fourth stimulus proposal, and the third stimulus law. And viewers who are members get delivered to them daily a breakdown of the $5, $10, $15, $20,000 that is available for them on their third stimulus and know where and how to get it. Remember that viewer early in this channel who got $6,000? They're sent from me daily by becoming a member, a breakdown of everything that's in third stimulus, fourth, and fifth. Because a lot of these things are application-based. You don't know unless you apply. So consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. Every day you're sent from me via the YouTube community page a breakdown of the big money that you're entitled to get. And go get it. Which brings us back now to the third of 3 parts of our fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. We're going to be going over 1, routing times, 2, me answering some of your questions I saw overnight, 3, fake narratives, and 4, purple power. First, routing times. It's important to know where we are this Monday morning. We're currently in the reconciliation process, and there's 9 steps to get it to the finish line. Some people have been asking me overnight, does that mean that the vote is on July 4th? No, they say by July 4th. Obviously, July 4th is a holiday. So let's go over the 9 steps, and I want you to pay attention specifically to step number 5 and step number 7 and 8. The first half are procedural steps. The last half are substantive. Step 1, the House subcommittee calls the procedural vote. Step 2, the House floor calls the procedural vote. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 4, the President signs the procedural bill into law. Time to go vote on the substantive bill. Step 5, the House subcommittee, which has been marking up the bill, as you heard earlier in this video, finishes marking up the bill and calls it for a vote in the House subcommittee. That is where those House subcommittee members could put a monthly stimulus check in there if they wish. Step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Step 7 and 8 is a 2-day vote-a-rama in the Senate. It's a cloak and dagger, MacGyverish, covert, quiet operation in which senators don't want you to know what they're doing until they call the vote. It's at that point those senators can amend anything they got from the House that they wish. So, if the House had no stimulus checks in there, the senators can add them in there. If the senators got from the House a bill that has stimulus checks in there, they can leave it alone, or they can amend it. And step 9, the president signs into the law. Now, some of your questions. Some of the questions I've gotten overnight have been the following. When will we actually see the number from the senators? Likely to see it once it becomes law, because the senators do that vote-a-rama cloak and dagger. They keep it very secretive because they want it to pass. Next, it's important to know that the president wants you to have a forced stimulus check and has been talking about it. The House Democrats and the Senate Democrats have been talking about that forced stimulus check and want you to have it. But you won't hear anything from the GOP or conservative media because they're not giving you the stimulus check and they don't want you to have it. So you're not going to hear it discussed there. Let's go to false narratives. I expect false narratives to continue all week long. And one of the things you do really well as a viewer's channel is you take the information and you learn from the information. And often I give you information ahead of time in the event that something happens so you are prepared to understand and analyze what you're hearing out there. Here's what you need to know. I expect all week long, even next week, you're going to hear certain people, especially even Democrats, saying, I had a meeting with, or a Republican, I had a meeting with, and I had a chat with, and the four of us came to an ideology of this and that. I want you to throw it away. Here's what's going on. There is at least 2 different groups that are trying to run their mouth to advance their political career. On Friday, one person, the protagonista, a Democrat, had a telenovela, and her telenovela was to tell the American people that she had done something for them. She hadn't done anything. Democrats didn't agree for her to meet, and Republicans didn't agree for her to get authority from anyone to agree to anything. What did she do by the middle of the day? Tell people she had an agreement when she didn't have an agreement. To make it even clear, let's understand what she was trying to do. While the President of the United States was overseas trying to get getting those G7 countries' leaders to agree upon a wonderful thing of the forced stimulus global corporate tax rate to pay for forced stimulus, what was she trying to do? Have your gasoline at the gas pump pay for forced stimulus, not the corporate tax rate. Really? No one's talking about taxing gasoline, honey. So that is what we talk about, false narrative. Someone talking about something that's not happening. Here's what you need to know, is that all Democrats are aligned to pass the forced stimulus. Joe Manchin has told Schumer, Warnock, and Ossoff he's on board to pass forced stimulus. She was out to another realm for political advancement. Nothing to do about derailing anyone, just political advancement. In fall of 2020, we saw a lot of political leaders during an election year trying to use stimulus as a way to advance their political career. What are they doing? Some are trying to get a book deal. Some are trying to get donations for future political runs or re-election campaigns, and some people are trying to get reelected. In fall of 2020, the prom creators were notorious for this. They appeared on broadcast news over hundreds of times. What did they deliver for you for second stimulus? 0. What did they deliver for you for third stimulus? 0. What did they do this last Friday? They said, we're back. Oh, Lord. Now, here's what you need to know. I'm going to give you this as an example. In fall of 2020, we were told from Josh Hawley that he was going to fight for a $2,000 stimulus check for you. And what did he get from that? He got himself booked on broadcast media, front page on all the broadcast channels. He also got the biggest donation of a candidate for political run at that time. And what did he do for that $2,000 stimulus check for you? Nothing. Folded like a lawn chair. His focus was getting campaign donations. So ultimately, I want you to understand this week, you're going to see Democrats. You're going to see sometimes Republicans, or you're sometimes going to see both saying that they're doing something about forced stimulus. They're doing nothing. That is a false narrative. Finally, Purple Power. You have been doing really well. On Saturday morning, viewers in private said to me, LALATE, you need to ramp up the tough love. Viewers between Friday and Saturday morning had a total of 11 tweets in 12 hours pushing elected officials about forced stimulus. And I said, that's not going to cut it. Since then, you have been on fire. You have been really wonderful. Why is it important to tweet or call or message? Why is it important? Because, one, they want to hear from you. If they don't hear from you, they think you don't need it or you don't want it. Second, they hear and see your messages. Understand LATE's social media account on Twitter has 250,000 viewers, and yet LATE sees your tweets, sees all your tweets. Most of these elected officials have 30,000, 40,000 followers. They really see your tweets. Just because they don't respond doesn't mean they don't see the tweets. They go back to the staff and say, you see all these tweets we're getting about stimulus checks? When you call up their staff and talk to them professionally and respectfully and kindly, say, this is why we need a stimulus check. This is why you have to do this for a stimulus check. They go back to their staffers. They don't have a staff of 500 people in a room. They have a staff of 30 people, 40 people, 20 people. They hear all your messages. And every time they hear another message from another person or another tweet, it helps the push. They want to hear from you, because that's what they do. They are there to represent your interests. So go on social media and continue to push with the hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Go on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, retweet the tweets of this channel, retweet other Purple Power tweets, or make your own tweets. If you don't know how to use social media, use the old-fashioned way. Pick up the phone and call your elected official's office in Washington. Be very respectful and kind. Write them a letter. Everything helps, and you are doing really well. It's important to understand that you need to push, because elected officials need to always be pushed. Remember, we have 2 emojis on this channel. As a Purple Power member, you can open those emojis right now. One says, it's not bill yet, and one says, it's not law yet. And then we also have a donut emoji as well. Don't assume anything is in your hand until it's law. Don't assume anything is in your hand until it's a bill. You need to push to the finish line and push all the way to the finish line. And with that, thank you for joining me on a big Mornings LATE extended broadcast. I'm next back with you with Mornings Crypto coming up in about 5 minutes right after this. Crypto's on a tear this morning. I'll be going over why it is. Then I'm back with you at noontime LA at 11 a.m., which is about 2 hours from now. So subscribe, 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Have a beautiful morning. I look forward to seeing you next on the next show here on LATE. Have a great morning. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LATE for more.